Hello and welcome back. Today, as promised, we are looking at Rivers of Nihile's album, The Work. So, Rivers of Nihile. They are an American technical death metal band from Reading, Pennsylvania. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. And they are currently signed to Metal Blade Records. To date, they have 2 EPs and 4 full studio albums, with these being the EPs Hierarchy in 2009, Temporality Unbound in 2011. Albums The Conscious Seed of Light 2013, Monarchy 2015, Where Owls Know My Name 2018, and The Work 2021. So, The Work is the 4th studio album and was released September 24th, 2021, and is the last album in the band's tetralogy based around the 4 seasons, and it presents winter, and it runs for approximately 1 hour and 4 minutes. So, track number 1, The Tower, theme from The Work, 4 minutes 31 seconds. We start off slow and somber, and after 2 verses of this slow, somber, methodical vocal, a groove starts to pick up and is kind of light and floaty before it explodes on the last verse into groovy growl delivery, with cleans behind it for emphasis and that added effect. And this is, again, before we fade out, and it moves on to track number 2, Dreaming Black Clockwork. This song runs for about 6 minutes 39, and straight away this is a heavy inal delivery compared to its previous track before it, and it's a great, imposingly crafted track. The lulls for clean vocals and saxophone, I think it is a saxophone they use in this whole album, which works weirdly well within the tech deaf composition here and throughout the rest of the album. The transitions are so fluid and slick. The chorus is cool, which is added to by the post-chorus as well. Oh no, there's no coming back from this. I cease to exist because I'm dreaming black clockwork again. There's no confusion. I made this wish. This life is bliss since I've been dreaming black clockwork again. Oh, can't you see me, baby? Oh, can't you see me? Because I've been dreaming cracks in the foundation as we rive within frustration once again. And then it's rounded off with this static, which hides like this eerie laughter, and it just made me feel a little confused and uncomfortable. But then we moved on to track number 3, Wait. 4 minutes and 5 seconds long. We once again start slow and soft here with an almost lullaby-esque vibe, is the feeling I got from it. It's again groovy and brooding, but it picks up a bit, and there's some growls here and there that are pushed back in the mix, and it feels like it's really in the distance and echoing through the hallways to get to you. There's a great show of guitarmanship here too. The vocals are very well executed and thought out and positioned and placed. It's a lyrically very short song, but it is easy to forgive in a track that has been so deliberately crafted, and you can clearly see the work. Hey, that's gone into it. For fuck's sake. That's a bad... Yeah. Track 4, Focus, which is what I need to do. 4 minutes and 54 seconds long. This is again a heavier song than its predecessor, but it still keeps the groove. The vocals keep all of their impact and is a song full of great drumming. The vocals are very well done. Its design and the verse the third verse, I think it was, specifically stood out to me in particular, with that being, "Thine eye be one, her blessed body full of light. I can't believe the shakes she's given me tonight. Making mention, focus my intention. We needn't be afraid. Do not be afraid." It's kind of like weird going through the album and like the songs. I don't really see a lot of how it pertains to winter, which is what this album is allegedly supposed to be focused around. But that just could be my sheer ignorance. I do not know. But yeah, it just felt like, to me, there was different stories going on in each track, and it didn't make sense with it being all themed around winter. Maybe you guys would pick up on stuff like that I missed. If you listen to it, if so, hit me up in the comments below and point out to me what I might have missed. But we're going to move on to track number 5, Clean, 6 minutes and 8 seconds long. So, the start of this track is done to perfection. It's quick, it kicks in immediately, honestly, and I will quote this and the chorus, so strap in. This is from verse 1. "I want your money, your time, I want your patience and your pride. I'm a restless innovator and I'm working overtime. So heaven help me and the dollar define me." That is literally how they start off this song with verse 1. And then the chorus is, "Reveling in this filth, this stain, reveling in this filth, circle the drain, circling. Heaven help me clean this mess. Heaven help, will never be clean again." Which, with the great guitars and the odd synthetic instrument that was played during this track, adding a whole otherworldly vibe and tone and making it all just one very well crafted, thought out, methodical track, which is something I really do think these guys deserve a lot of credit for. Each track feels magnificently crafted, like they really do care about what they're fucking putting out there. So we're going to move on to track number 6 already, which is "The Void from Which No Sound Escapes," 6 minutes 43 seconds long. So I've actually reviewed this previously on episode 3 of my series, The 6 Song Roundup, where I said it started with an atmospheric soft piano build and feels stifled until it breaks free and starts to show the style of Rivers of Nile. And that I enjoyed the give and take of the soft and heavier sounds feeding off of each other, which kept it very engaging for a near 7-minute track. And I also gave a nod to the solo from the guitarist, the drum showcase, and I was flabbergasted at how well the saxophone fitted in here as well. All of this remains, and now in context of a full album, makes it feel even more well crafted to me. Because going into this, when I heard it, it was just a single from the album. At this point, I hadn't actually heard it in context. But now I have heard it from start to finish, like from cover to cover. It fits so well where it's positioned, and I don't think they could have crafted it any better if they tried. Moving on, we have track number 7, which is More. And weirdly, it does have a question mark as well. So this one is a shorter track. It's 3 minutes 25, and it starts quickly, and it's kind of a full throttle track feel. It dies down for some lull background musings before quickly picking up again, and it has a bloody great solo. They're swarming and feeding, this tired flesh is seething. It's just how I remembered, all colours and splendour, but nothing it changes. It shifts and rearranges. You've heard it all before, but I know you want more. I hope it fucking kills you. I hope it fucking kills you. Was the main part that stood out to me as a whole from this song as well, which I think is one of the later verses and a refrain from before the chorus or before the song ends. I can't remember specifically, but I just felt like that really stood out to me for some reason. And it was definitely one of the tracks I enjoyed more, if that makes sense. So moving on, we have track number 8 already. We are bombing through this one. And this is The Tower 2, 1 minute 58 seconds. A short carry on from track number 1, which personally adds nothing to the album in my opinion. It felt disjointed from the last few songs, plus it's only about 2 verses and 2 extra lines, give or take, which sound exactly the same as the first song. And it does lead us into the last 3 songs, which are extremely long. So I feel like this would have been more suited for an instrumental, like palette cleanser track, or just nothing at all and narrowed it down. But that is my only criticism of this album so far. Moving on, we have track number 9, which is called Episode. And this is 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, before I read this, if you think this is long, buckle up Buttercup, because fuck me, the final track is a doozy. This one is a slow build. For verse 1, it gives the verse a heavy sort of chorus after it. But I think God could explain why we ended up this way. I forgot all good things I believe in another. I forgot all good things I believed in. Another episode is ending. That is like the chorus, I think. There are more great guitar grooves and interesting lines. Maybe too many to actually pick from. So I'll stick to the chorus bit that I've already picked out. I also enjoyed the growled delivery of some of the lines, which were specifically just repetition of do the work, which it kind of reminded me of Du hast from Rammstein, especially with how they kind of put the emphasis on the do, and then they just did the work. But they kind of space it out, and it's very well done. And this is towards the end of that track. So moving on, we have track number 10, Maybe One Day, 7 minutes and 2 seconds. So it's slightly shorter than the last one, but it's still a long one. So we're on to the penultimate track now, and it starts softly, then has a great bit of a drum showcase, and for the vast majority it is a softer, slower, more somber feeling track. The latter portion shows solid guitar work as well, and it's not bad, but it's not my favourite track on this killer album, and it did feel a little bit lacking in areas because it is such a slow and somber song compared to like the rest of them. Like when they were doing previous songs that had a slower, somberer, more emotional vibe, there was also that, you know, towards the end they would have a heavier bridge or refrain, or they would have like some sort of heavy chorus, or just maybe a heavy background noise kind of to give it that extra little bit of something, that extra, you know, pizzazz. But with this, it kind of was just left to its own devices to be a more somber, slow, plodding song. I feel like there probably was a reason why it was thought and placed and positioned quite like that, but I'm not sure if I would have put such a slow song in the end of the album. Like, you could use it as a middle ground, I would have said, but I feel like the last track or penultimate track might be the wrong area for it. But that's just me. And that leads us into track number 11, Terrestria, part 4, Work. 11 minutes and 30 seconds. I told you it was a fucking doozy. I told you. So this starts like a horror movie. The soundtrack, you know, when they have the atmospherics and soft pianos and like the little bit of symphonic something, and it gradually builds up, and they put the drums in, the guitar in, the sax comes in, and it just slowly all melts together into one eargasm. And eventually the vocals chime in at about the 3-minute mark, and there's some quick venomous mids spat out here at points, as well as growls and drawn out vocals, which are not clean, but not growls or harsh vocals. It's kind of odd. Around 7 minutes 50 seconds, there's some sick guitarmanship on show. Specific lines that I picked out were, "Bury me so I might grow, what's the use, we're dying so slow, there's so much tension in here, no release is near." Like I said, I can only push this thing so far. These words, a jumbled translation of beauty that we live, even when it's paycheck to paycheck. Can we still make it out alive? Will we ever see the other side? Which is 2 verses that I picked out and a little bit that really clicked with me, and they really managed to keep an 11 and a half minute long track on an hour and 4-minute album feeling fresh, and nothing felt stagnant here at all. But track 10 is easily the weakest track for me. So going forward, I would say this album is about an 8.5. And the only reason I say that is because I do think the Tower 2 wasn't necessary, or it would have worked better as a instrumental track, as I said. And track number 10 being the weakest track kind of takes away from all the rest of the bangers, and especially this final 11-minute long one, which was so magnificently crafted as well, felt like it had been taken away from, due in fact to the fact that it had a weaker song before it. But that's not to take away from the rest of the album. I will eventually go back and review the other 3 parts of this Terrestria series, I guess they would call it. But with that being said, my top songs for this album, we have The Void, from which no sound escapes, Episode, Wait, and More. So, I do think that album was really good. If you've listened to it, let me know what you think in the comments below. After this goes out, I'm going to be working on a bunch of episodes for the 6-song roundup, because I think I've got a list on YouTube of songs to search or songs to do, which is probably nearing the 500 song mark. So we're going to need to go through that, bop out the ones that are going to be in albums coming up, because I do know I've got some Eskimo Electric Callboy in there that is going to be on the album that drops in a couple days time, which I'm going to review the full album anyway, so I may as well not review that. I think I've got a few other singles in there which I might remove from the list and do the full albums, if the full albums are in my review folder. I'll do those and get rid of the singles, or if the singles are there and the album isn't, they will stay. So I'm rambling. Keep your eyes out for 6-song roundup, and remember, I will see you in the next video, and stay safe out there, my friends. Goodbye.